Daniel was nervous. The new semester had started, and the dorm was full of noise. Students dragged bags up the stairs, doors slammed, and laughter echoed in the hallways. Daniel sat on his bed, staring at the empty side of the room. His last roommate had transferred to another college, and the university had promised to assign him someone new. He wondered who it would be this time. He hoped it was not another guy who stayed up all night playing loud music, or someone who borrowed his things without asking. Daniel liked peace, books, and video games, but most of all, he liked a roommate who could be a friend. The sound of heavy footsteps made him look up. At first, Daniel thought one of the taller athletes was arriving, but then the footsteps grew, louder and heavier. The hallway went quiet. Students peeked from their rooms. Something unusual was happening. The door opened with a hiss. A figure stepped inside. Daniel's eyes widened. His new roommate was not human. The alien ducked under the doorway. He was tall, broad, and covered in dark gray skin that looked like stone. His eyes glowed faintly yellow, and his jaw was lined with sharp ridges. Two tusks curved upward from his mouth, giving him the appearance of a warrior from some fantasy story. He carried a heavy metal trunk that looked like it weighed as much as a small car, but he held it with ease. "Human," the alien said in a deep, rumbling voice. "I am Korak, son of Durok, from the warrior clans of Dravos." Daniel's mouth went dry. He had read news about the interstellar student exchange program, but he never thought one of the alien students would end up in his room. "I'm Daniel," he said quickly. Welcome. This is our room." Korak placed his trunk on the floor with a loud thud that shook the walls. Other students whispered in the hallway, too curious to leave. Some even filmed on their phones. Daniel shut the door to give Korak privacy. Korak looked around with a frown. The room was simple. 2 beds, 2 desks, a small fridge. To humans, it was normal. To a warrior from Dravos, it looked fragile. "This chamber is small," Korak muttered. "And these walls, they are thin. A good strike could shatter them." Daniel tried to smile. "Yeah, well, it's not really built for battles. It's just for studying, sleeping, and, living." Korak gave a short grunt. He opened his trunk and pulled out strange objects. Heavy armor plates, a curved blade, and a metal device that hummed with energy. Daniel's eyes grew wide, but Korak quickly stored them under his bed. "No need for alarm," Korak said. "These are only symbols of my clan. I was told Earth does not allow weapons in learning halls." "Good to know," Daniel replied, nervously. The first few minutes were awkward. Daniel tried to start a conversation. "So, what made you join the exchange program?" Korak straightened his back, proud. "Our leaders wish us to understand other species. Many of my people think humans are soft. They believe your kind cannot survive without machines. I was sent to live among you to see the truth with my own eyes." Daniel raised his eyebrows. "Soft? That's what they think of us?" "Yes," Korak said honestly. "Your bodies are small. Your bones break easily. You cannot survive on toxic worlds. Yet you spread across the stars. It is confusing." Daniel chuckled. "Well, I guess we're tougher than we look." That night, Daniel decided to show Korak what human life was really like. He ordered pizza from the campus cafe. When the delivery arrived, Korak sniffed at the box suspiciously. "This is food?" Korak asked. "Yeah, trust me, it's good." Daniel opened the box, and the smell of melted cheese filled the room. Korak picked up a slice with his large hand, holding it like a piece of strange equipment. He sniffed it again, then took a bite. His tusks made it a little difficult, but when the taste hit his tongue, his eyes widened. "This," he muttered, chewing slowly. "This is not unpleasant. What is it made of?" "Cheese, bread, tomato sauce, some toppings," Daniel explained. Korak nodded seriously. "In my world, we eat raw meat after the hunt. This cooked food is strange, yet it fills the body with warmth." Daniel laughed. "See? That's the human way. Comfort food." After pizza, Daniel set up his game console. Okay, next. Lesson video games. Korak tilted his head. Games? You mean training simulations? Sort of, Daniel said, handing him a controller. But here, it's just for fun. The game started, and Korak's huge fingers fumbled with the buttons. His character on screen spun in circles and fell off cliffs. Daniel couldn't stop laughing. Korak growled. This device is too small for my hands. You'll get used to it, Daniel said, still laughing. After several tries, Korak finally managed to control the game. His warrior instincts took over. Soon he was defeating enemies with surprising skill. He leaned forward, tusks gleaming, eyes locked on the screen. This is a battle I can fight without risk, Korak said with excitement. And when I fall, I return to fight again. Remarkable, Daniel grinned. Exactly. That's why humans love games. You can try again until you win. The night grew late. Korak finally put down the controller and stretched his massive arms. Your world is strange, Daniel. You eat food that warms the soul. You fight battles without dying, and you laugh even when you lose. I do not understand. Daniel shrugged. That's just human life. It's not about being the strongest, it's about enjoying the little things. Korak sat on his bed, deep in thought. Perhaps there is more to strength than I was taught. I will observe. I will learn. Daniel smiled, feeling less nervous now. His new roommate was different, very different, but maybe that was a good thing. Maybe this semester would not be boring after all. As Daniel turned off the lights, Korak muttered quietly, almost to himself. Humans, soft, yet unbroken. This will be interesting. And with that, the first night of their strange friendship began. The next morning, the dorm buzzed with life. Daniel woke to the familiar sound of alarm clocks and footsteps in the hall. He rubbed his eyes and turned to see Korak already standing by the window, looking out with a serious expression. Good morning, Daniel, Korak said in his deep, rumbling voice. I do not understand why humans require sleep. You lie down, close your eyes, and waste valuable time. Do you not use your hours for learning or training? Daniel laughed. Well, humans need sleep to stay alive. It helps us think better, feel better, and even heal faster. You should try it sometime. Korak tilted his head. Sleep is weakness. But if you say it is necessary, perhaps I will try for now. After a quick breakfast of cereal and fruit, Daniel decided to introduce Korak to a more structured lesson in human life. He called it the morning routine. First, he showed Korak how to make coffee. Korak observed, fascinated, as Daniel measured beans, poured hot water, and stirred carefully. When Korak tried it himself, he spilled coffee over the counter. The smell made him recoil slightly. This liquid is bitter, Korak said, his nose wrinkled. Why do humans drink it if it tastes unpleasant? Daniel grinned. It's an acquired taste. It helps us wake up and feel alert. Korak frowned but sipped cautiously. His eyes widened, and he nodded slowly. Curious, it awakens the senses. Perhaps humans are wise in small ways. Next, Daniel took Korak to the campus gym. The alien's eyes lit up at the sight of weightlifting equipment, climbing walls, and running tracks. Korak immediately compared the machines to warrior training tools. Finally, some proper training, Korak muttered. I can see the purpose, Daniel laughed. It's not exactly like your warrior training, but humans do try to stay strong. Here, let me show you how it works. Daniel introduced him to basic exercises, push-ups, squats, and treadmill running. Korak tried, his strength making the exercises almost effortless. But soon he noticed humans struggling beside him, sweating, panting, yet smiling. Why do they continue despite exhaustion? Korak asked, puzzled. Their bodies seem fragile compared to mine. That's the thing, Daniel explained. Humans keep going even when it's hard. It's not always about strength, it's about determination. Korak frowned, clearly thinking deeply. Determination, a strange kind of power. After the gym, Daniel took Korak to the cafeteria. Humans moved in lines, chatting, laughing, and carrying trays full of colorful food. Korak stared at the variety and confusion. In my world, food is simple: hunt, eat, survive. Here, humans spend time choosing flavors, talking while eating, and even joking about food, Korak observed. Daniel smiled. Yes, humans enjoy the process. Eating is more than survival, it's social and it makes us happy. They sat together. Daniel showed Korak how to eat with utensils, though Korak struggled. He picked up a fork with 2 fingers and tried to stab a piece of salad only to fling it across the table. Imprecise, Korak muttered. In battle, such mistakes could be fatal. You'll get the hang of it, Daniel said, laughing. Humans are not perfect. We learn by making mistakes. Korak paused and looked at him. You are patient. Most of my kind would punish errors immediately. Why do humans tolerate mistakes? Daniel shrugged. Because we believe people can improve. That's another kind of strength. Later, Daniel invited Korak to join a small group of friends for a board game. Korak had never seen anything like it. Humans sat in a circle, moving small pieces across a board, rolling dice and negotiating trades. This is trivial, Korak said at first. A waste of time. But as the game progressed, he began to notice something else. Humans smiled when they helped each other, laughed when someone lost, and cheered when someone won. Korak watched, fascinated, as small gestures of trust, and the weekend arrived and the campus was alive with excitement. Banners fluttered across the walkways, stalls lined the central square, and the smell of food filled the air. Daniel grabbed Korak's arm and dragged him through the crowd. Come, on Korak? Today is the annual cultural festival. You will see what humans do when they celebrate life, Daniel said, grinning. Korak's massive eyes scanned the scene, his warrior instincts alert. So many humans in one place, they look weak in numbers. What is the purpose of gathering? Daniel laughed. It's not about fighting. It's about sharing, learning, and having fun. You'll see. The first stall was a food booth. Humans sold strange dishes, fried dough, colorful candies, roasted corn, and more. Korak's eyes widened. He had never seen so many flavors in one place. Daniel handed him a small cone of fried dough. Try this. Humans love it. Korak held it carefully, examined it, and took a cautious bite. His eyes widened. Sweet, warm, soft. Not raw, not bloody. Yet it pleases the senses. Curious. As they moved through the festival, Korak watched humans perform dances and music. Children ran with painted faces while adults played instruments. The laughter and singing were foreign to him, yet he could not look away. Daniel nudged him. Come on, you have to try something too. Korak frowned. Dance? You expect me to move like this? For joy? Yes, Daniel said. Humans enjoy movement. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just participate. Reluctantly, Korak stepped onto a cleared space with a group of students. They began simple steps, swaying and clapping. At first, Korak's movements were stiff, jerky, and clearly out of rhythm. Humans around him giggled, but not cruelly. They were encouraging. After a few minutes, Korak's movements became smoother. His huge frame towered over the others, but he began to feel strange, lighter, joyful. This is not fighting. Yet it is satisfying, he muttered. Daniel smiled. See? Humans find power and happiness too. You don't always need a weapon to feel strong. Next, Daniel led Korak to a sports competition. Humans ran relay races, jumped over small hurdles, and tossed balls in friendly contests. Korak immediately felt at home with the physical challenges, moving with speed and strength that dwarfed the humans around him. He won the first race effortlessly, and the crowd cheered. Korak flexed, expecting admiration for dominance. But instead of awe, the humans clapped for everyone, cheering for those who finished last too. This is strange, Korak muttered. They celebrate weakness as well as strength? Yes, Daniel said. Humans understand that effort matters more than victory alone. Korak began to see a pattern. Humans did not measure life only by power. They measured it by participation, joy, and connection. This idea was new and it made him pause. Later, Daniel took him to a booth for a friendly challenge. Students could try small obstacle courses or mental puzzles. Korak's pride wanted him to do the hardest one, so he chose a climbing course. His large hands and strong arms made the physical part easy, but the course included tricky balance beams, narrow ropes, and timed obstacles. For the first time, Korak faced failure. He slipped, nearly fell, and struggled to regain his position. Daniel watched nervously. Korak's pride could not accept this easily. But then, something remarkable happened. A group of humans ran to help him. They guided him across a difficult rope and cheered when he completed the course. "This assistance, why?" Korak asked, panting. "Because humans help each other," Daniel said. "We don't just compete, we support. That is part of our strength." Korak sat on a bench, breathing heavily, but his eyes were thoughtful. He began to understand that true strength could include empathy, cooperation, and trust, concepts almost alien to his warrior training. As the afternoon continued, Korak explored more stalls, art displays, science exhibits, and even small theatrical performances. Each human activity puzzled him, yet he began to feel admiration. Humans were clever in ways that warriors were not. They built, created, entertained, and solved problems without relying only on strength. Daniel took him to the main stage where a talent show was beginning. Students performed songs, comedy skits, and magic tricks. Korak watched a young girl play the violin. The notes were soft, delicate, and yet they stirred emotion deep in him. "Sound can be a weapon of the mind," Korak whispered. "It does not harm the body, yet it moves the spirit. Humans are more powerful than I thought." Daniel smiled. "Exactly. You're beginning to see it." Then, something unexpected happened. The festival organizers announced an interspecies fun challenge. Participants could show off unusual skills. Daniel nudged Korak. "You should try it. Show them a warrior skill from Dravos." Korak hesitated. Humans stared, curious but friendly. He took a deep breath and demonstrated a traditional Dravos warrior challenge, lifting a massive weight, spinning it and performing precise stances. The humans gasped and then erupted into cheers. They clapped, whistled, and some even tried to imitate him. Korak looked surprised. Their admiration was genuine, not fearful. They appreciate effort and courage, not just power, Korak muttered. He realized that humans could respect strength while still maintaining kindness. Daniel patted him on the shoulder. "You did great, and they liked you because you tried something new. That's another human thing, celebrating effort." As the sun set, the festival glowed with lights. Lanterns floated in the air, and music filled the square. Korak and Daniel sat on the edge of the fountain, exhausted but happy. "Today has been enlightening," Korak admitted. "I expected humans to be weak. I expected folly and confusion. Yet I see curiosity, creativity, endurance, and joy. I see power that does not come from weapons." "Fascinating." Daniel smiled. "Welcome to humanity, Korak. We're strange, but we survive and thrive in our own way." Korak looked at the laughing humans around him. He realized he had experienced something unique, a species that found joy in the little things, that celebrated effort as much as victory, and that supported each other without thought of gain. "This is life worth studying," he said quietly. "Not for battle, not for conquest, but for understanding." Daniel laughed softly. "You're finally starting to get it." As they walked back to the dorm, Korak's thoughts lingered on the lessons of the festival. Humans were weak in some ways, but their hidden strengths fascinated him. They had endurance, cleverness, joy, and loyalty. These were powers no warrior could take lightly. That night, Korak lay on his bed, staring at the ceiling. He reflected on the day. The laughter, the dances, the cheers, the kindness, and even the failures. Each moment had taught him something he had never known. "I came to learn about humans," he whispered, "but perhaps they are teaching me more than I teach them." Daniel turned off the lights and smiled as he drifted to sleep. He knew that Korak's mind was turning, slowly understanding that humans were not weak. They were strong in ways no one could measure with weapons or muscle. And so ended another day in their extraordinary friendship. Korak had not only witnessed human life, but he had begun to respect it, admire it, and perhaps even aspire to understand it completely. The festival of life had shown him something no warrior training ever could, that the true strength of humans was not in power alone, but in courage, joy, and connection. The morning sun cast golden light across the campus. Students moved between classes, chatting and laughing, while the air was filled with the scent of coffee and fresh bread from the cafeteria. Daniel was heading to his lecture when he spotted Korak practicing martial movements in the open courtyard. The alien moved with precise power, each motion controlled and exact. "You're really getting good at blending with humans," Daniel said, smiling. Korak paused and looked at him. "I do not blend, human. I learn. Observation is necessary to understand your species. Today, however, you may be surprised at what I cannot anticipate." Daniel raised an eyebrow. "Oh? And what is that?" Before Korak could answer, a sudden loud explosion shook the campus. Windows rattled, alarms blared, and smoke began curling into the sky from the science building. Students screamed and scattered in panic. Daniel grabbed Korak's arm. "Something's wrong. That's the chemistry lab," Daniel shouted, pulling him toward the chaos. Korak's warrior instincts immediately kicked in. His massive frame pushed through the crowd effortlessly, and Daniel struggled to keep up. Flames and smoke billowed from the lab windows, and the sound of shattering glass filled the air. Students were trapped inside, crying for help. "This is a disaster," Korak muttered, his voice calm but urgent. "Step aside, human." "I will. Clear the path." "No, we stick together," Daniel said firmly. "We can't just run. People need help." Korak's eyes narrowed. He nodded. "Very well. Follow my lead." Inside the lab, chaos reigned. Broken glass littered the floor, fire spread along wooden shelves, and the heat was almost unbearable. Students huddled in corners, terrified. Korak moved with incredible speed and strength, lifting fallen beams, breaking doors, and guiding students toward exits. "Stay calm. Follow me," Korak commanded. His voice was like rolling thunder, but the students obeyed. His presence gave them courage. Daniel rushed beside him, helping where he could. He guided frightened students, reassured them, and carried a small girl, whose ankle was twisted. Together, Daniel and Korak formed a team, moving with a strange but effective coordination, human care and alien strength. At one point, a large shelf toppled toward a group of STU. The days after the fire passed quietly, but the events had left a deep impression on both Daniel and Korak. The campus returned to its normal rhythm, yet whispers of the alien warrior and the brave human who saved lives lingered in every hallway. Korak moved differently now, less rigid, more thoughtful. His eyes, once filled with pride and suspicion, now carried curiosity and respect for humans. One evening, Korak received a communication from his home planet, Dravos. A holographic message appeared in his room, crackling with the cold light of alien technology. His parents and leaders of his clan appeared on the screen. They looked serious, their armor reflecting the dim light. "Korak," his father said, his voice deep and commanding, "your time among humans has been noted. Reports suggest anomalies in behavior. We have questions." Korak stood straight, feeling the weight of responsibility. "I have observed, Father. I have studied humans as instructed. They are not as weak as we believed. In fact, they possess strengths unseen in our kind." His mother's expression was skeptical. "Strength?" You speak of creatures who cannot endure toxic worlds, whose bodies break easily, who rely on machines to survive. How can this be strength? Korak took a deep breath. Strength is not only measured by body or weapon. Humans possess determination, creativity, and loyalty. They face danger together. They act with courage even when afraid. I have seen them save lives, inspire others, and persevere in ways our clan does not understand. His father's eyes narrowed. You praise them too much. Your duty is to assess, not to admire. Korak's eyes glowed faintly yellow. I report the truth. My observation shows that humans' hidden power lies in their unity, their courage, and their ability to uplift one another. These are forms of strength beyond combat. There was silence on the screen. Finally, his mother spoke, her voice softer, almost curious. You speak as if their hearts are weapons. Do you believe humans are worth our attention? I do, Korak said firmly. They are not warriors in our sense, yet they inspire. They create, protect, and act without expectation. That is strength worthy of respect. His father looked away briefly, then back at him. This will cause debate. Some will see your report as disgraceful, others as revelation. Prepare for their reaction. You may be challenged. Korak nodded. I am prepared. I will defend the truth. After the message ended, Korak sat quietly. Daniel entered carrying a bag of snacks. He noticed the alien's pensive expression. Everything okay? Daniel asked. Korak looked at him, a hint of seriousness in his glowing eyes. The leaders of my planet have called me to account. They question my report on humanity. Some will see my praise as betrayal. Daniel set down the snacks. Well, that's something. But you know what? You're right. You've seen what humans can do. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Korak gave a small nod. Your species has taught me that truth matters more than approval. I will speak as I have observed. Yet, I am uncertain how my people will respond. Daniel smiled. Then, we prepare. Show them videos, stories, everything you've experienced. Let them see humans through your eyes. Over the next days, Korak compiled recordings, notes, and images. He showed his family videos from the festival, clips of humans, laughing, playing, helping each other, and even saving lives during the fire. Each scene highlighted traits his people had never valued: empathy, courage without combat, creativity, and teamwork. When he finally sent the compiled report across the stars, the reactions were immediate. Discussions erupted in Dravos. Some elders ridiculed him. You waste your time on weak creatures, one said. Others were intrigued. Perhaps there is more to their strength than we assumed, another admitted. Korak felt the tension. I expected resistance. Yet the truth must be seen. Humans, they are not weak. They are extraordinary in ways we cannot measure. Meanwhile, on Earth, Daniel watched Korak work with fascination. The alien's dedication to defending humanity impressed him. Korak, once rigid and judgmental, now moved with understanding, patience, and determination. The most surprising development came when the Dravos elders requested a live demonstration. Korak was to present his findings in a galaxy-wide conference. He hesitated at first, worried about ridicule. But Daniel encouraged him. You know what they'll see, Daniel said. You've seen it yourself. Humans are special. Don't be afraid to show them why. On the day of the conference, Korak activated the hologram. The assembly of Dravos leaders appeared, armored and serious. He began by describing humans' physical limitations, expecting some skepticism. Then he shifted focus. These creatures, Korak said, are fragile in body, yet resilient in spirit. They create, protect, and inspire. They face dangers without weapons, yet act with courage. Their strength is hidden, but it is formidable. He played videos of students laughing, cooperating, and helping each other. He showed the festival challenges, humans overcoming obstacles, and the fire rescue that Daniel and Korak had experienced together. Silence filled the assembly hall. The leaders had not expected this. Korak continued, explaining how humans solved problems through intelligence, creativity, and emotional resilience. Their strength is not measured in combat, but in the courage to act when it is needed most. The elders whispered among themselves. Some were outraged, unable to accept his praise. Others nodded slowly, curiosity and respect growing. Korak sensed that a change was coming in their perception. Finally, one elder spoke. "You have shown evidence beyond mere words. Perhaps our assumptions about humans were flawed. They are different, but not weak." Korak bowed slightly. "That is all I wish to convey. Humans may not be warriors in our sense, but their strength lies in what we did not value: courage, compassion, and unity." Back on Earth, Daniel watched the holographic feed from Korak's room. He felt pride swelling in his chest. Humans, often underestimated across the galaxy, were being seen for their true worth. Korak leaned back, exhausted but satisfied. He had defended humanity. He had risked ridicule, but the truth prevailed. And in doing so, he realized something deeper. Humans were worth defending not because of strength, but because of heart. That night, Korak walked out onto the dorm balcony with Daniel. The stars stretched endlessly above them, and a sense of calm settled over the campus. "They listen," Korak said softly. "Some were skeptical, but they now understand. Humans, they are more powerful than any weapon." Daniel laughed quietly. "You're right. And maybe that's why we can't just conquer space with muscle alone. It's heart, Korak. You've seen it. That's humanity's real strength." Korak nodded, his glowing eyes reflecting the distant stars. "I thought I came to teach humans lessons. Yet, they have taught me more than I imagined. Strength comes in many forms. And the humans, they possess a kind I had never understood." Daniel smiled. "That's the truth. And now, the galaxy knows it too." Korak turned to him, a rare smile spreading across his face. "Then our work is done, Daniel, for now. Humanity's light will reach farther than we ever expected." And so the story of one alien student and one human had not only changed the lives on a single campus, but had begun to reshape the way an entire species viewed humanity. From weakness to wonder, humans were now seen as a force of courage, heart, and inspiration across the stars. The call from the stars had proven one undeniable fact. Humans were strong, not because of their weapons, speed, or size, but because of their courage, loyalty, creativity, and capacity to inspire. And Korak, the once skeptical warrior, knew this truth would guide him for the rest of his life. Korak returned to his home planet, Dravos, carrying more than memories. He carried a new perspective, a new understanding of what it meant to be strong. The reports he sent, the videos and the stories, had stirred debate among his people. Some elders were skeptical, some curious, but none could ignore the evidence he had presented, and Korak knew that his mission was far from over. As his ship descended onto Dravos, the landscape stretched before him like a frozen desert of jagged mountains and metallic cities. The wind carried a sharp bite, reminding Korak of the harshness of his homeland. Yet in his mind he replayed images of Earth, humans laughing, sharing meals, rescuing each other from danger. Those memories were warm and alive, unlike anything he had experienced here. The moment he stepped off the ship, his family met him with stern expressions. His father's gaze was like steel, his mother's eyes a careful mix of concern and curiosity. "You return," his father said. "Did you find them worthy?" Korak straightened, his voice calm and firm. "They are. Humans are not weak. They possess strength in ways we cannot measure. Their courage, their loyalty, and their ability to act for the good of others are qualities worthy of respect." His mother's voice softened. "And what will you do with this knowledge? How will it change your role in our clan?" "I will teach them," Korak said. "I will share what I have learned. Humans are not weapons to be feared. They are allies to be understood. I will show our people that strength comes in many forms." His father frowned, but there was a hint of curiosity. This may be controversial. Some will see it as betrayal, others as revelation. You must be prepared to defend your position. I am prepared, Korak replied. I have seen the truth. The days that followed were challenging. Korak shared his experiences with his peers and leaders, demonstrating how humans solved problems through intelligence, EMP.